Okay, good morning, everybody, for Wednesday, the 26th of July. So we have a bright start. It's nice, no rain, no clouds, no nothing. And we do have a small ridge of high pressure, which is moving across the country at the moment. But I'm afraid behind it, we're left with another low, which is going to bring this warm front that you see on the chart closer to us. And that warm front will be here by late this evening. So a good start, but unfortunately deteriorating picture. Winds, they're going to start off west-southwesterly at about 5 to 10 knots. By lunchtime, they're probably going to be from the southwest at around 15 knots. On the ground, probably not much more than 10 knots for most of the day until the afternoon. Satellite picture reveals a generally bright start, a little bit of upper level cloud, but the thickest of the cloud is out to the west, and that's where the rain will be as well, but no real significant weather in our area currently. Public forecast showing 19 degrees being a top temperature today, with a reasonable chance of rain anytime from 3 o'clock onwards. And it'll be probably quite a miserable evening from the looks of it. But as I say, you've got a good window there, and it does look like it'll be nice and soarable for a little bit as well. Good visibilities this morning, but deteriorating as the afternoon goes on. And if you remember with that warm front from your bronze theory, the cloud will continue to increase as moisture comes in, and that cloud will get lower and lower and lower as the morning goes on or the afternoon goes on. So yeah, make the most of the conditions, because as each hour goes by, they will start to deteriorate. Yep, top temperatures today. I think we're going to be 20 degrees. In the capital and those in East Anglia, they're going to have a much nicer day. I think they might see most of the day rain-free. So 22 to 23 degrees possible in eastern counties or the southeast. Dew points, well, this is, in fact, it's easier if I put it at, because my default is to use 3 o'clock. But if I use midday as a better example, before the rains hit, you can see 20 degrees quite widely and dew points sat at around 8, but those dew points will shoot up as the warm front approaches. That's sounding relatively good, actually. Nice inversion to stop any storms brewing, at least, until the moisture arrives. A little bit of top cover maybe occasionally, but it does look like once we get sort of 16 degrees or so that it will start to convect, and convect nicely, it looks like, up to around sort of 4,500 to 5,000 feet, hopefully by 11 o'clock, with the temperature of around 17 or 18 degrees. Currently at Lasham, dew point of 8 and temperature of 15. Picture outside is that. See the top cover. And our meters and TAFs. Cav OK currently a variable at Farnborough. A few clouds, 4.5 on there. Odium haven't woken up yet. At Southampton, again, calm. Cav OK. Even talk of fog this morning. That's a bit unusual. But yeah, it's saying weather will change come lunchtime. It says on here, and that southwesterly wind picking up. So your top Meteor forecast for today, that is your potential flight distance. For a lovely day out in East Anglia and not to come back, then that will work quite nicely. But I'm afraid the further west you go, the quicker it will fall apart. And it does look like it will be a narrow window. So probably out to the west immediately and then shoot off up north for a little bit, so that you come back then in the dying air, but where it's still convective. Starting at 10 o'clock, sort of blue to shallow Q, probably more like shallow Q, up to sort of 3,000 feet or so by 10:30. So nice. Once we get to about midday, we are looking like blue to shallow Q, probably more proper Q starting to form, up to around 4,500 feet. So looking good and nice across the southeast and the northeast as well, quickly deteriorating from the west. We get to about 1 o'clock and we've got cumulus here up to maybe 5,500 feet, just 6,000 feet of sea level. And that widely good, looks like it'd be good for the club class nationals, and maybe even 6,000 feet out into East Anglia. So this air mass is very good for a short period of time before the new one comes in. Once we get to 2 o'clock, it's dying very quickly. You've got to be sort of in a good position so that when the music stops, by 3 o'clock, you can either get under the cloud or glide in. Looking very poor out to the west anytime after at 3, and I'd say by 4 o'clock we'll have rain at Lasham and low cloud. Cloud amounts then. Fairly straightforward initially, nice and blue. By lunchtime, anything west of Salisbury is going to be under some fairly thick top cover, or maybe even mid-level cloud. Cumulus under some top cover in the Thames Estuary, in the Thames Valley and north. And yeah, I think a bit of cumulus on that front as it starts to come in. But yeah, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock easy cut off today. So to sum up today, good conditions for a very short period of time, probably good for a couple 100 kilometers if you're quick, between maybe about 10:30 and 2, and that's probably stretching it at 2. So you've got to make sure that you're in a good position, because relative humidity will shoot up, as you can see on there. It goes from about 25% at about 1 o'clock to about 100% at 3. So it shows how quickly this air mass will change. Do note, Top Metier is working with a couple of extra degrees, so conditions may be just a tad weaker than this suggests, but fingers crossed that that Met Office is under reading slightly. But yeah, looking like a reasonable morning and early afternoon. Airspace wise, we've got paragliding just north of the Salisbury Plain, 21. Yeah, so Milk Hill, which is north of Upavon. Usual Salisbury Plain danger areas. Oh, there we go. South Cerney have got parachute dropping or article dropping between 12 and 5 today. That's just the Easter Cirencester. Little Rissington 80Z is active today, 34. Western on the Green may be active. It is certainly active in the evening, so check for that. Gliding competition at Dunstable, number 36. And the no times under the airspace I don't really think are too much of an issue. Otherwise, yeah, pretty straightforwards. Okay, well, some good news is that the jet movement, which was going to spoil the morning, let's go check, has been delayed. That's very good, to at least 1:30, which does make my life a lot easier. So there are no jet movements this morning. Operationally, we're going to start on 27 with an offset also. Probably not quite like that, otherwise we have the Winston 2XL. Air towing from the runway. And pretty much it looks like to make the most of the window. So 27. If the wind does pick up at around 1, 2 o'clock, then we might have to change to 23, but I'm hopeful that we can stay on 27 for most of the day. So jet movement this afternoon, runway 27 in use. If we could just make sure the trial lesson glider has priority, please, to make sure the trial lessons run on time. We will see you out there very shortly. Bye for now.